Picture a coin glinting in the sunlight, a symbol of value that shapes our lives in ways we often overlook. It's not merely currency. It embodies choices, freedom, and sometimes anxiety. As we delve into the psychology of money, we'll explore its roles, meanings, and the profound impact it has on our identities and relationships. This exploration is not just about wealth. It's about how money influences our happiness, self-worth, and societal status. Together, we'll navigate these intricate pathways, unraveling the complexities that define our financial experiences. At its core, money is a societal construct designed to facilitate trade and value exchange. It functions primarily as a medium of exchange, a store of value, and a unit of account. But beyond these definitions, money is steeped in philosophy and personal meaning. As a child in a financially struggling household, my understanding of money was deeply shaped by my experiences. I learned early on that money could provide security, but it could also be a source of stress. My parents often spoke about finances with a sense of urgency, creating an environment where money was both revered and feared. I remember vividly one evening when my mother expressed worry over paying the next bill. It struck me how something so seemingly innocuous could carry such weight. This early perception forged a complex relationship with money. As I transitioned into adulthood, I began to view money as a tool, one that could offer freedom, opportunities, and the ability to influence my life positively. But I also learned about the darker sides of money: greed, jealousy, and social competition. For instance, I observed peers who defined their self-worth by their bank balance or the brands they wore, often leading to superficial friendships and an endless cycle of comparison. Money became a double-edged sword, where my initial understanding as a means of security evolved into a deeper contemplation about what it represents in terms of value and worth. Through my experiences, I came to understand that money could provide security and opportunities, yet it also risks becoming a means to define oneself and one's relationships. Reflecting on my journey, I vividly remember my first paycheck. It was exhilarating yet terrifying. I was flooded with choices. Should I save for a future goal or indulge in something I had wanted for a long time? I opted for a mix, purchasing a modest yet meaningful gift for my parents as a gesture of gratitude. That moment crystallized for me that money could create joy not just for myself, but also for those I love. This experience taught me that money could be an expression of love and appreciation, shaping relationships in ways that transcend mere transactions. It was a turning point in my understanding, leading me to appreciate the deeper emotional connections money can foster. This realization compelled me to adopt a philosophy of spending that prioritizes experiences and relationships over mere accumulation, steering me toward a more fulfilling approach to financial management. The relationship we have with money often mirrors our personal values and societal norms. Growing up, societal pressures emphasized wealth accumulation as a measure of success. I witnessed how these pressures affected my peers, many of whom felt they needed to achieve financial milestones by certain ages. This often led to stress, anxiety, and a sense of inadequacy, especially for those who didn't fit into that mold. Philosophically, money can be viewed through various lenses. The Stoics, for instance, suggest that we focus on what we can control, our actions, our choices, rather than being overly attached to external outcomes like wealth. This perspective was transformative for me, particularly when I faced career setbacks. Instead of succumbing to frustration over financial limitations, I began to concentrate on the skills I could cultivate and the connections I could make. Reflecting on this, I remember a time when I faced a challenging decision between a higher-paying job that didn't resonate with my values and a lower-paying position that aligned with my passion for social impact. Initially, I was swayed by the allure of a higher salary, driven by the fear of not meeting societal expectations. However, after deep reflection and discussions with mentors, I realized that my true fulfillment lay in the alignment of my work with my values. Choosing the latter path, I faced financial uncertainty, but it brought me a profound sense of purpose. My decision to prioritize meaningful work over monetary gain led me to opportunities that expanded my horizons and enriched my life. It taught me that financial decisions should align with one's core values, creating a fulfilling life rather than one dictated by societal norms. A particularly revealing moment came when I attended a conference on personal finance and philosophy. The speakers emphasized the importance of mindful spending and aligning purchases with intrinsic values. One speaker shared a story of how they redirected their focus from accumulating wealth to creating impactful experiences, such as family vacations and community service projects. Inspired by this approach, I started to evaluate my spending. Instead of investing in the latest gadgets, I began prioritizing experiences, whether it was traveling to new places, participating in workshops, or engaging in community initiatives. Each experience enriched my life, creating lasting memories and deeper relationships, reinforcing my understanding that money, when spent wisely, can enhance our quality of life rather than diminish it. The interplay between money and happiness is one of the most discussed topics in psychology. While it's often tempting to equate wealth with happiness, research shows that the relationship is more complex. Studies indicate that happiness tends to increase with income, particularly up to a certain point, approximately $75,000 to $100,000 annually. Beyond that, the increase in happiness levels tends to plateau, revealing that our expectations and desires shift as we acquire more. This was certainly true for me. When I landed a well-paying job after college, I initially felt elated, believing it would solve my problems. Yet, I quickly discovered that the job, while financially rewarding, lacked the fulfillment I craved. I was spending long hours in a high-stress environment, trading my time for money but losing touch with my passions and interests. Over time, I realized that my pursuit of happiness was misguided. I had been chasing financial milestones rather than nurturing my intrinsic motivations, my love for creativity and connection. Reflecting on my experiences, I learned that true happiness stems not from external achievements, but from cultivating relationships, pursuing passions, and finding purpose in everyday life. Epicurus argued that true happiness arises from fulfilling natural and necessary desires while avoiding vain pursuits. This philosophy resonates deeply with me. I began to prioritize activities that nourished my soul, such as spending time with friends, exploring new hobbies, and engaging in meaningful conversations. I can recall a pivotal moment during a weekend retreat I attended. Surrounded by nature, with no distractions, I engaged in deep conversations with others about our dreams and fears. We shared stories of our struggles, our financial woes, and our hopes for the future. I left that retreat with a renewed sense of purpose and connection, realizing that my happiness was rooted in my relationships and experiences rather than my financial status. This experience reinforced my belief that investing in relationships and meaningful experiences brings far more joy than accumulating material possessions. From that point on, I made a conscious effort to allocate my resources toward activities that foster connection and personal growth, understanding that happiness is best cultivated through experiences that enrich our lives. The ways in which we use money can reveal our values and priorities. In our consumer-driven society, it's easy to fall into the trap of spending mindlessly, equating purchases with self-worth or status. However, I learned that conscious spending can transform my financial landscape and contribute to a fulfilling life. Research indicates that spending money on experiences, such as travel, education, and time with loved ones, tends to yield greater long-term satisfaction than spending on material goods. Experiences create lasting memories and foster connections, while material possessions often provide only temporary satisfaction. I remember a period in my life when I was caught up in consumerism. I was working hard to earn money but found myself spending it on things I didn't truly value, like trendy clothing and gadgets. One day, after a particularly excessive shopping spree, I came home and realized that the items I bought brought little joy. They quickly lost their luster, leaving me feeling unfulfilled. Determined to change my habits, I began to analyze my spending patterns. I started asking myself whether my purchases aligned with my values and long-term goals. This introspection led me to prioritize spending on experiences. I planned trips with friends, enrolled in classes to learn new skills, and dedicated time to volunteering. Each investment in experiences enriched my life, creating memories that outlasted the fleeting joy of new possessions. A transformative experience occurred when I took a solo trip abroad. It was an act of spending that, at first, felt indulgent. However, that trip opened my eyes to new cultures, perspectives, and friendships that have since enriched my life. The lessons I learned and the connections I forged during that journey far outweighed the financial investment. This realization was powerful. It reshaped my approach to spending. I began viewing money as a means to create experiences that deepen my understanding of the world and foster connections with others. This shift led me to a more intentional and fulfilling financial journey, aligning my spending with what truly matters in my life. Understanding what we value intrinsically is a crucial step in shaping our financial lives. Research suggests that spending money on experiences fosters greater long-term satisfaction than spending on material goods. Experiences, such as travel and personal development, contribute to personal growth and strengthen relationships, elements that are essential for well-being. In my own life, I often found that my most cherished memories stem from experiences rather than physical items. Reflecting on my childhood, I realized that the happiest moments were family vacations or shared meals rather than the toys I received. This insight encouraged me to prioritize experiences over material possessions as I navigated adulthood. One experience that profoundly shaped my understanding of intrinsic value was a volunteering trip I took to help underprivileged communities. Initially, I hesitated to allocate funds for what seemed like an expense. However, I discovered that the experience created a deep sense of fulfillment that far outweighed any financial concerns. The bonds I formed with fellow volunteers and the gratitude expressed by the community were priceless. The sense of purpose I found in giving back was transformative, leading me to reevaluate how I allocated my resources. After that volunteering trip, I adopted a mindset focused on cultivating intrinsic values in my spending habits. I began prioritizing experiences, like learning new skills or spending quality time with family and friends, over accumulating material goods. Each experience enriched my life, creating lasting memories that continue to shape my identity and relationships. This shift has encouraged me to embrace a more meaningful approach to financial management, understanding that true wealth lies not in accumulation but in creating a life filled with experiences that bring joy and connection. As we unravel the psychology of money, we realize that it is not merely a tool for trade, but a powerful entity that influences our identities, relationships, and happiness. Our relationship with money reflects our values, beliefs, and societal norms, shaping our choices and experiences. Through personal experiences and philosophical insights, I've learned that money should serve as a means to enhance our lives rather than define them. By prioritizing meaningful experiences, nurturing relationships, and aligning our spending with our intrinsic values, we can create a life filled with purpose and fulfillment. Ultimately, the journey of understanding money is not about how much we have, but how we use it. By embracing this mindset, we can navigate the complexities of finance while cultivating a richer, more satisfying life. Join me as we continue to explore these themes, sharing stories and insights that resonate with our shared human experience.